I told you there would be a moment. Well, guess what? The moment's here. The fight is coming. Let's go!
Boxing King, media in association with Boxro, Wade Plem here in probably the new fight capital of the UK, Telford.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm being sarcastic.
Telford is very quiet, very quaint, but it's buzzing today. We got some fights going to happen tomorrow. We're about to do the ceremonial weigh-in, so I'm pumped.
Can you compare it to any US towns? Does it remind you of anywhere in the US?
My hometown. I grew up in a town with like 2,000 people, but you know what? They got the nice shopping center over here, but it's very quiet. Kind of rule off on its own, so I like it. I'm somebody that doesn't like to be in the city a lot. I'm kind of to myself, so I like it.
Good man. So tell me, which fight are you most excited about on this card?
You know what? This one's kind of a sleeper, but it's right off rip. Godson and Tempo Arts. I'm so excited for these two heavyweights. I looked at Godson on the scale. He looks like an NFL linebacker. Tempo Arts got the weight loss journey going from 360 down to 280, and he swings bangs, man. That cat is dangerous. So anytime heavyweights step in, one shot ends it or could. So I'm pretty excited for that one, and obviously the rest of the card as well.
The tag team, do you reckon that this whole tag team gimmick will probably kind of like bring more eyes to Misfits, or will it bring more negative feedback, do you think?
I think a little bit of both. Definitely going to bring more eyes, though. It's something new, something fresh, but also something that is going to be scrutinized heavily. I mean, I've already kind of done a little bit of that on my own, which, you know, it is what it is. But I think there's the potential for a lot of excitement, potential for a brand new audience, which is something that Misfits has been very much open to. Is there's something for everyone, and I think that's what they're trying to do with this one too. But yeah, I mean, there's obviously going to come criticism anytime you try something like this or try something new in the boxing scene. I think it's going to go very well. I think they've got it down to a science. Literally, I got the rule set right here. So we're all going over it. We're taking a look at it. But I think it's going to go well.
Am I right in saying to tag somebody and you put your arm up and then the action's got to break and somebody comes in?
Yeah, the arm up thing, but also there's going to be a physical glove tap. But again, that is the signal to break the action is, hey, you know, I'm going to tag. And you have to be relatively close to your corner. You can't just tag in the middle of the ring, right? You do have to make that effort to go to your corner. As well as just some other things you can tag in between rounds as well. So you can have a seat at your cornerman saying, hey, listen, it's not going our way. Let's tag out here. Tag can be made. And the official's going to step in when that tag's made so that we have a safe and kind of clean tag. That way someone's not in the middle of tagging and here comes a left hook, you know, and it's over with. So they're trying their best to make it as succinct and safe as possible.
I think it's going to be fascinating. I think it's going to probably be quite intriguing to see how it unfolds. Just want to talk to you about the weekend's boxing. I know that you was doing a live. 20,000+ people was watching Wade Plem talk on his own, sat on his couch. That's pretty mental.
Yeah. We ended up, I don't know if you saw this, we ended up doing 61,000 live.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
so was that doing the main event?
Yeah.
I was watching it during the undercard.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. At the undercard, we had 20K, which, I mean, listen, man. 5 years ago, I was doing that same stream for those same big names for 3 people, and 2 of them were me on a separate computer. So I'm blessed to be in the position I'm in, and I'm very grateful to my community that rallied around us. We hit 300K in that stream as well, did over 2 million streams. But yeah, that was a great event, great fight. Tommy and Jake put on a show.
I've got to ask you, man. Obviously, I've not seen the live review that you gave, but how did you think? Did you think the scorecards were right?
Well, no, I thought it should have been a unanimous decision for Tommy. So the one judge that did score it for Jake, I didn't really understand a 75-74 for Jake. I thought he won 2 rounds at most, and the 8 being a 10-8 is the most he won by clearly. So I thought Tommy, I hate to use the word dominated because it didn't look dominating, but it was clearly a win for Tommy, and the volume, the punch count, the pressure, a lot of it was Tommy Fury.
Do you want to see Tommy Fury continue on the influencer scene? Do you think he should go back to pro boxing?
I don't think you can necessarily go back to the undercard of a pro boxing card now, right? You are in that main event slot, supposedly sold over 500,000 pay-per-views. If you're the Fury family, if it makes dollars, it makes sense. How do you go back and be on a random undercard in front of 25 people, right? So I think he's going to continue this. Whether it's right or not for his championship boxing hopes, probably not. Obviously not going to get very much better fighting people that aren't championship level or near that. So it's a catch-22. He's going to make a ton of money to probably go and rematch Jake.
And what do you think of the bet? The last thing I want to ask you about the bet. John Fury's come out saying he's demanding that that money to be paid. What do you think? How do you think it was left?
I think that John Fury's word is a little sketchy to trust on its face value. So they know what they're doing. The Furies are very smart. John got in Tommy's ear about saying, well, we made a handshake bet, and a handshake is as good as a writing contract. It's not. But, no, I think it's a little silly at this point. Like, if you didn't want to sign the contract then, you can't come back and play, you know, armchair quarterback on Monday and say, well, we wanted to, we just didn't. So, no, they're not going to get that done. But they're making a good play, and John Fury is a very, very good promoter.
So if you was Jake Paul, you wouldn't pay?
No. There's no reason to. If you would have signed it, and you know, they even came into when John was watching the hands get wrapped, they were like, hey, you want to sign it? We still got time. You can sign it. They offered it to him. But for them not to sign it and then go, well, we shook on it, it's a little bit of gamesmanship. And I like it. I love it from John Fury and those guys. It just does give a little bit of that seed to plant for the rematch. If you're going to do it, now you can say, well, you owe us that money anyway, so let's go and make it again. You know, so fair play.
And if you was orchestrating a next move for both men, for Jake Paul and Tommy, who would you pick as potential opponents for both of them?
Tommy, you're kind of in the driver's seat now, right? If Jake wants the rematch, you're going to say, I'm going to need a little more money. If KSI decides I don't want to fight Jake, again, you're right in the driver's seat. So Tommy can kind of kick back here and let the things play out. I don't think he should take another pro fight right now. I think, you know, a tough fight for him could potentially damage that rematch with Jake. And again, you don't mess with the money in my opinion. And for Jake, I don't think you fight Tommy next. I think it's dangerous. You got 5-6 months on that rematch clause. So are you going to get that much better in 5 months? You know, are you going to be able to fix the holes? And I understand there was sickness and things in camp, but sickness didn't make him flat-footed. Sickness didn't have him covering up high guard and backpedaling. You know, those things have to be worked on in the gym, and I don't know if 5 months is enough. So I think you do the KSI fight.
Wade Plem, as always, appreciate your time and enjoy Telford.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks.
I told you there would be a moment. Well, guess what? The moment's here. The fire's pumping. Let's go!